Pottsville Apache pregame show for the playoffs in 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Malvern, home of the Leopards. It is round one of the state high school playoffs. The postseason tournament begins tonight, and everybody's record is 0-0. Nobody has a big advantage tonight, except maybe the advantage of playing as the home team. Coach Brian Rust of the Apaches joins us as our pregame show guest. And Coach, thanks for the time this morning. I know you all got a long trip today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excited to get out of there. I mean, it's the first week of playoffs. We've kind of been waiting for the last couple weeks. We had finished in the season, then we had a week off last week, so we're ready to get going.
All right, and I think just maybe as kind of to wrap up the regular season, I think with 4 wins in a row, it's probably pretty safe to say you guys are playing the best football you've played all year right now.
Really have. I mean, we got 2 really, really big wins. Well, the 3 in a row, really. We're kind of looking back to CAC and, in that game and how big it was, pivotal it was, really. Because if we would have lost that game, you're sitting there with have-tos against Lamar and Clinton to even make the playoffs. So again, our guys have really got going at the right time and playing our best football. Now, with that said, we kind of ended up the season with Dover's senior night and things like that. And then, last week we had a faceless opponent. We just kind of had to battle ourselves, and we're still trying to, stay in shape and go through our routine of what you do, every week in practice, just trying to maintain. And that was really hard the week before this week. And, I felt like this week we've come out really, really well and really trying to nail down everything we're going to see tonight.
Are any concern in your mind, since we haven't played in a couple of weeks, about offsides, procedure, that kind of stuff, or do you think by now they've got it nailed down?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the always the worry is with the bye week, and I've heard a lot of things through the years about how to do this and how to do that, and so we just tried to stay as much routine as we could, still going through our basic fundamental, stuff we do every day and every week in practice, and tried to stay with the program, even though we didn't have anybody to play. We kind of just went down the gamut of what we do every week, and hopefully that puts us in a good position this week to kind of stay with that program.
Kind of caught a bad break. Harmony Grove played probably their worst game of the year. They ended up losing to a rival in Bauxite. So explain to me how we ended up with the 4th seed, or do I need a calculator and a computer?
Well, it's just kind of how Arkansas football does their playoff stuff, and you trying the tiebreaker, and there's no easy way to do it for sure, but and we knew that this was the worst possibility that could have happened for us was we were pretty much sitting there at second by ourselves, unless Bauxite were to beat Harmony Grove. And again, we've had a couple really bad ones. The very first conference game was against Harmony Grove. We lose to them by 1 in a heck of a hard fought game. And then we had probably the worst game of the year against Bauxite at our place. We turned over 7 times and just really, really a bad night. And so you're sitting there, but since then we've done everything we could to put ourselves in position to get a home playoff game, to do all those things. The guys knew what was at stake, and we did everything we could to put ourselves in position. And then it just happened that Friday we're sitting there, basically helpless watching, Harmony Grove play a game that didn't mean a whole lot, and Bauxite it meant a whole lot to them. And they come back and beat Harmony Grove 14-7, and that still leaves Harmony Grove in the 1 seed. It moved Lamar up to a 2 seed just because of the tiebreaker points, because us, Bauxite, Lamar were all tied for second. So, we finished conference runner-up, but with a 3-way tie, the first thing that goes to points, and we only had that 1-point win over CAC, which really hurt us. So they take the 2 high point people, that would have been Lamar, Bauxite, and so you take the winner of those 2 head-to-head. Lamar beat Bauxite head-to-head. That put them at the 2. Then you go back, and the 2 teams left were Bauxite and us. Bauxite beat us head-to-head, so that gives them the 3, puts us to the 4. Yeah, and like I said, that's how the system works. It's not very fun, but it is what it is.
Well, and it's frustrating. We won Lamar basically. Won the game on their field. In fact, basically, ended up winning it going away, and then you ended up seated below them. And just about the time today I started to type out my letter to the AAA to complain about it, I asked myself, "Self, what would you suggest that's better?" And I got nothing.
Right.
If I had a better idea, I'd pass it on. But just a bad break for us. And maybe tonight we can take our frustrations out on the road against the Leopards.
That's right. Absolutely.
Malvern's pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, they very talented. Some say they're in that 7-4A down there. They produce state champions year in, year out. At a regular basis. And again, this is no different this year. Between them, Ashdown, and Arkadelphia, the talent is amazing down there. And they're huge up front, offensively and defensively. Just huge linemen. You got really good skill guys. I think they've got 2 or 3 guys. They're 4 or 5 range kids. And a couple more kids on the outside that have a lot of speed. Speed's not a problem for them. So, again, very talented. But at the same time, they don't see what we do. And it kind of gives us a little bit of an advantage. If we haven't, they've got a lot of advantages. We've got a few advantages. And that's one thing is what we do is something they're not familiar with. And it should be tough for them to right off the bat, get adjusted to it. So, we've got to start fast and furious to give ourselves a chance and to be right in the middle of it. But again, I feel like this team has just kind of grown leaps and bounds from the beginning of the year to where we are now. And again, you go out there, and that's what this time of year is all about, is going out and playing your best football. We go out and play great football. We're going to be right in the middle of it, and and that's all I can expect from these guys, and that's kind of our expectation, making the trip to go down there and win. Beat a really good team, but this is the playoffs, and that's who you have to play is really good teams, and if you can beat really good teams, you just keep on playing.
Yeah, what's the saying? If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have to play him sometime anyway.
That's
so
right.
why not now? This team has come such a long way from the beginning of the year. One of the reasons you play a non-conference schedule like Elkins and Dardanelle is so that tonight against Malvern, you're not going to be intimidated.
Right. I feel like, and honestly, the conference even, you look at Elkins, and I would definitely compare Elkins and Malvern as similar type teams. Malvern may have a little bit more size, but Elkins had a lot of guys up front that were big, strong, physical guys, and some good skill guys. They had a lot of speed, and again, that's why we play teams like that, to get an idea, and then you roll in the conference, and every week we're playing somebody that's got a 4 or 5 guy. So it's not like we move into conference and we don't see speed and all that kind of stuff. So we've had to be adjusted to it most of the year. In every game, we've learned a little bit better how to play this, how to do that, and hopefully our guys have grown and understand, how to track a 4 or 5 guy. Is you can't just go right at him and expect to tackle him. You've got to learn how to run him to an area and get to him. And again, they're very shifty too. So whenever you get to them, you can't just sit there and try to go for that big hit and make the crowd go wild. You have to get a hold of them, the first guy. Next guy can come in and pound a little bit, and that's what we've got to do. So you learn those things, and again, with the spread offenses they see week after week down in that conference, their defensive linemen really have grown accustomed to, trying to get up the field. And, for what we do run the option, that gives us a good read. So, Nason ought to be able to understand that, those guys, if he's flying upfield, that makes a read even that much easier, to make sure we're getting the right place at the right time offensively.
Arkadelphia had some success over the Leopards, just running right straight at them. Is that something we can hope to duplicate?
Well, definitely. We don't need to run side to side. They're going to win that contest every time. Now, there are times where if we're hurting them up the middle, they may move inside, and when that happens, we'll go outside, and get what we can get if they're giving it to us. So, that's definitely the game plan, is going right at them, not giving them time to run us down.
Plus, in recent games, looks like we have actually thrown the ball better. Jackson Furr's made some good plays. You've had some guys coming out of the backfield making catches. Maybe our passing game's advancing a little bit too.
Absolutely. And again, I think it's all a concept of what we're doing and what you're trying to do. And again, we want to throw when we want to, not when we have to. And again, that's huge. So if we get their eyes in the wrong places and we see that, we're running the ball and their safeties are, they're screaming up as soon as the ball snapped, then we can take advantage of that and put them in bad situations. So, that's something to keep an eye on is if they're really, getting up the field really fast, then we may be able to throw a ball on and surprise them.
Coach Rust, it's been a pleasure this year. Hopefully we'll get to do this again next week.
Absolutely.
Good luck tonight.
Steve. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you. We'll be back to the first round of the state playoffs tonight. We are in Malvern, and we'll take on the Leopards. We'll come back with more on the pregame show after this timeout. This is Pottsville Apache football.